Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Fantasy Six Pack to talk about Monday Night Football, the battle for Texas, as the Houston Texans go to Dallas to battle the Cowboys. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Right now, the over/under is around 41 total points, and it's the AFC South versus the NFC East, and we kind of know what we're going to get in a way. When you look at Houston, they're 6-4, Dallas 3-6. They're on a 4-game losing streak. The Cowboys are bad. No Dak Prescott. He's done for the season, and the wheels have completely fallen off the Cowboys this year. Before I get into the video, some over/under stuff, and we're going to get straight to the point. All right, I built 4 lineups. I have them highlighted, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'll give you a final score, some solid recent betting trends to kind of get your mind where it should be, and we'll get the heck out of here, and we'll kick this thing off. We'll kick this new week off on a high note here. So get to the website, fantasysixpack.net. When you get there, look around, see what's best for you. If I were you and you're watching the video, thank you for that. But head over to the Discord. There's a lot of channels that are free, and you can create a name and hang out. And there are some premium channels, but it's very positive to join one of the premium channels, because always sharing notes and ideas and over-unders and stuff. So if that's what you're into, I will see you there. Tag me. My name is still the same, at Detroit Beastie, and we can chat over there. When we get back to this game, as I said, Houston plays the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Which way are we going to go? What are we going to do? Let's start this thing off with CJ Stroud. Looking at any sort of optimizers that you're using or ownership percentages tools, CJ Stroud has to be in our lineups tonight. Whether it's MVP captain spot, that's for you to decide. While I do have, like I said, I built 4 lines. CJ Stroud is the MVP captain in 2 of those. That's more of a cash game play, right? If you're going to play in 50-50s, heads up, or head-to-head, however you want to put it. But it makes sense given what else is on the menu today. CD Lamb, he's questionable. More than likely he'll play. But again, with that shoulder AC joint kind of deal, he could be tackled once the wrong way and boom. Why put him out there to endure all that if it's unnecessary, right? So CD Lamb being 13.5 on FanDuel, 10.8 on DK. If he's active, you're going to get a superstar's worth of targets and touches. 10-11 targets, 6-7 catches, around 75 to 80 yards. So it makes sense. I'm just a little bit nervous, especially if you're going to put your money in like the $5 single entry, the $10 single entry. One play, as I said, and if he goes, you're toast, given how high his price tag is. But let's go back to CJ Stroud briefly. The Dallas Cowboys right now 29th overall against opposing quarterbacks. You're going to get 20 to 21 completions from him, 270 yards. I have him 3 to 4 carries for about 15 to 20 yards on the ground. And this is something I've battled with. 1 touchdown pass or 2 touchdown passes, or just 2 total touchdowns in general, whichever way they come. 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. I think, given my final score, I have Houston to score around 24 total points, which is a tad higher than most of the sharps have set across the board this weekend and today, Monday. But I like the idea of CJ Stroud getting to 2 total touchdowns, whichever way you slice it. When we go to the Dallas Cowboys, quarterbacks, I'm all set. Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, why bother? This is where I get stuck. I get bogged down, and the video winds up being 15 minutes because I talk about every single player, that's going to be active and in pads tonight. But I would say, well, if I don't do that, then how can I say that I've combed through the slate with a fine-toothed comb? Well, I'll share my notes, and you can be the judge of that for yourself. When we look at the running backs, I got 2 guys, Rico Dowdle and Joe Mixon. When we look at Joe Mixon right now, he's on a heater. Is it one for the ages? I wouldn't go that far, but the Cowboys 30th overall against opposing running backs. So you're looking at 21 to 22 rushing attempts for Mixon, 100 yards. He'll score score a touchdown. Again, another lock if you want to put that in to sweeten the pot, to sweeten any of your player prop parlays. 3 to 4 receptions for another 25 yards. So well over 100 total yards and a touchdown makes for a wonderful MVP captain spot play if that's your cup of tea. When we look at Rico Dowdle, he could be one of those, 14 to 15 carry RBs tonight, 60 yards plus the 2 or 3 receptions for another 20 yards. So he's only $9,000 on DK, and you're telling me I can get around 80 to 85 total yards and 3 to 4 receptions. That's pretty, actually 2 to 3, 4 would be fantastic. That would be even better, but to me, Rico Dowdle very much in play in one of our flex spots given his price tag. When we go to the wide receivers, the 3 dudes I have, highlighted here, one of them's a tight end. I'll lump that in together. It's Nico Collins, it's John Mechie III, and Jake Ferguson. John Mechie, right, a fantastic story. Was drafted. He missed a season because he got blood cancer, if I'm not mistaken, but he's healthy and active. And this kid was always meant to be a pro football player at wide receiver. He was fast. His alma mater, he comes from, good football stock. And I'm not mentioning him as he is a possession to be had, but John Mechie can get it done. And to me, he is in 100% of my lineups tonight, all in flex spots. But hey, we'll take it when we can get it. John Mechie III, 2 to 3 targets, 2 to 3 receptions, 35 to 40 yards. And I have a touchdown, ? So that, does that absolve me from being wrong or right? Yes and no. I've gone out on limbs before, but to me, John Mechie in a flex spot, only $7,000 on FanDuel with the opportunity to score a touchdown, almost like this close away from being, he's a slam dunk in a flex spot, this close from being a slam dunk to receiving a touchdown. When we work our way back, Nico Collins, Dallas, 19th overall against opposing wide receivers. Nico is the number 1 guy. Has he played like that recently? No, but he was hurt and he's, getting up to speed. Will he run wild tonight? I think so. 7 to 8 targets, 5 to 6 receptions, around 85 to 90 yards. And this is the give and take, right? If Nico Collins scores a touchdown, I don't think Mechie scores his, and vice versa. If Mechie scores a touchdown, Nico Collins doesn't. It's that weird give and take, like the attorney scale, right? Heavy this way, heavy that way. We can move on. I mentioned CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Tolbert has piqued my interest, right? He's originally in my first gut builds, and after I did my notes, I built a few more. Jalen Tolbert not in the in my initial player pool, but I have him highlighted in green, which in my mind is just kind of a secondary option. You're looking at Tolbert, 4 to 5 targets, 3 to 4 receptions, around 30 to 35 yards. If this game goes as we think it's going to go, if this game goes as the last 4 games for the Cowboys go, it's going to be a heavy dose of passing attempts, right? And Tolbert will be in on that action. Kevontae Turpin, too, to a certain extent, 2-3 targets, a reception or 2, 10 to 15 yards, nothing crazy. But as I was getting to Dallas, they've allowed 34.5 points a game so far this season. They've given up, they're given up 10 rushing touchdowns to running backs this year, 3rd overall in the league. That makes Mixon that much more of a fire option. The Cowboys also allowing 111.1 rush yards a game. I get excited and ahead of myself. I was about to talk about Jake Ferguson, and then I start spouting off Dallas's downfall in their DST this season alone. But when we look at Jake Ferguson, it melds perfectly with where Dallas is going to be behind and Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. I'm sure Trey Lance is going to be in a few times. Obviously he's got some design plays in the red zone if Dallas is able to even get into the red zone. But when you look at Jake Ferguson right now, Houston 6th overall against opposing tight ends, but it's all good. You're looking at 6 to 7 targets, 4 to 5 receptions, 45 to 50 yards. So to me, Jake Ferguson, $10,000 on FanDuel, not, crazy expensive, but he's not like, so cheap where everybody and their mother's going to have him in terms of ownership percentage, but he's only 5.8 on DK. Jake Ferguson is a must tonight, especially on DK, and he is in 100% of my lineups on FanDuel in the flex spots here. So when we look at this thing, Houston 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games. Dallas 1-7 against the spread their last 8, and under has hit in 7 of Houston's last 9 games, and the under has hit in 4 of Dallas's last 6. I like the under in this one, but I also have Houston to win 24-13. So give me CJ Stroud on the strength of Joe Mixon with a little bit of Nico Collins, John Mitchie III with a touchdown. That would be fantastic. And Houston wins 24-13, further propelling Dallas into a full tailspin, into the void, however you want to put it. And again, there's no hard feelings. I don't like or dislike Dallas, just calling it as I see it. And I like Houston to win 24-13. Be good, be safe, and we'll get some time free, and we'll get together again Thursday for Thursday Night Football. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Houston wins 24-13. Bye-bye.